we're so consumed with our own lives as actors. Everything's about me, look at me, my problems, this, that one forgets that, even our managers or our agents have lives beyond us. But I feel like the industry is too small to put anybody down or to have enemies or to say something horrible or harsh, because you're going to land up working with the same people like, at some point of time. So be careful who you talk to and what you tell.
She's bold, she's beautiful, and she's unstoppable. Aahana Kumra is making waves with her substantial work on the OTT platforms. And today I speak to her about her journey on Filmfare OTT Showcase, a prelude to the MyGlamm Filmfare OTT Awards 2021. Thank you, Aahana.
Thank you, Jitesh. It's so wonderful to see you. And thank you so much for having me.
Same here. It's a pleasure. So my first question to you is, I was watching Call My Agent, and do you understand the film industry better, or do you know more secrets than they show in the show?
I think it's through the show that I also know some more secrets now. But it was an incredible fun to shoot the show, because I got to work with some of the actors I absolutely adore, and I was working with with Jagu Dada, who I'm in awe of him, and I've been in awe of him for years and years. I think through my career, also incredible things that I've heard of him about him from people. So it was fun to work with him. It was fun to work with Nandita. It was really fun to work with Igmanshu sir, Lilith. So basically people I've always admired. I've really enjoyed working with them. Shad is somebody I absolutely love. He's somebody, who's really whacked as a human being. And it was a lot of fun to actually collaborate with all of them. But yes, I did come to know of a more human side of agents through the show. And, I was just like, oh, you know what? They really do have personal stories, which we don't really otherwise pay attention to, because we're so consumed with our own lives as actors. Everything's about me, look at me, my problems, this, that one forgets that, even our managers or our agents have lives beyond us. So I think it was nice to humanize that side of them.
Were you worried it was a very complex character? Her sexuality was under the spotlight, and also in comparison to the high-strung original character in the French series. Did you worry about comparisons and how you would fare?
I did worry initially, I guess. But I think when we started shooting the show, I realized that there was a very different tone I had to catch on to. I think Shad wanted all the characters to be really loud, very over the top. And that is something that Shad kind of set the tone right in the beginning when we were shooting it. So I think because the tone was very different from the original, I think I kind of stopped worrying at one point of time. And I was just like, I have to stop comparing, and I have to stop worrying that people are going to compare this character, because the comparison is going to be inevitable. It's almost like you're doing a money heist and I'll be compared to a Nairobi if I ever play a Nairobi. I'm just saying, because I get that a lot. Oh, Desi Nairobi and this, that. So I go like, if I ever have to play an iconic character, from a Spanish show or from like a French show, the comparison is going to be inevitable. But the one thing that kind of got me going was that this will be stories of our industry. People are going to watch it from a fresh perspective, those who haven't watched the original, and they're going to be like, oh, is this what happens, in the film industry? Is this what the talent manager has to do? But I did know that I was walking a very fine line. Like I was really treading on a path which was very difficult, because I knew that, this is a character who's also gay. She's also somebody who's very out there, and she doesn't hide her sexuality. She doesn't hide what she feels. She says what she wants. She's somebody who's going to go to any length to make sure that, she gets the job for her talent. So I think I knew that I was playing a character that was very loud and very in the face. And I knew that I might get a lot of flack for it. But I think a lot of people have liked my work. And I think the greatest compliment that I got was when I go out now to any club or any party, there are all these women surrounding me, and then they all are coming to me and gushing, and they're like, oh, Amal, you're so good in the show. And I'm just like, I've had like guy friends look at me like, why are you getting so much female attention? And I'm just like, I have no idea. So I think that has been incredible.
Tell me, how did you actually sort of break into Bollywood? You know, when did you decide you want to become this serious actor? And was it tough, sort of, the initial years?
Well, I don't think I've ever designed this for myself. I think it's really happened very organically. I started my career in theater and I still am associated with theater. I'm part of a production, which is a 9-year-old production. And we still perform at Prithvi. We were performing, in fact, in Diwali this time. On Diwali night, I was at Prithvi doing my show. But it's something that has really not really happened with design. I think this is something that has happened very organically. I went to film school. I did 2 years of training there. I met Nasir Sahab there, and then he recruited me into his theater company. I worked with Motley. I worked with Makrandesh Pandey. I worked with Rajit Kapoor. I worked with like literally everybody in theater. And I so happened to do a show which Anurag Kashyap watched. And then he cast me as a lead opposite Mr. Bachchan, which was my first TV show and my first debut opposite Mr. B. Yeah, Yudh. So I think I've never really gone out there and asked for work. I think my journey, and I've been very, very grateful because I've always felt that one job has led to another. Somebody's always looking out for my work. Somebody's always like, seeing. And I know so many people who come to me and they tell me, Aahana, we know that you'll never pick up a show which is not going to be good, or you're not going to pick up a film which is not going to be good. So I feel like it's nice to hear that from my audience, that people associate me with very good work, and they always come to me and they say that you're a thinking actor and you're somebody who always, they ask me, do you consciously pick up work like this? And I'm just like, no, it's just been, I just don't say no. I've been a yes man all my life. So I've always said yes to work, and whether it's 2 scenes, 3 scenes, it doesn't really matter to me the length of the role. I just do the part because I have to enjoy the process of what I'm doing.
How did you sort of boogie out of not playing the heroine ki behan, heroine ki friend, heroine ki sister? You know, you must have had to say no to a lot of roles, and also the temptation, money is a major factor, and yet there's your career at stake. You have to, look out for that. So how did you sort of strike the right balance?
So I was offered, I don't know if I should take names, but Shashank's a friend of mine and he's a school friend. And he was making Humpty Sharma Ki Dulhaniya. And I still remember I was doing Yudh at that time. And he called me. And I think Shashank has been one of the most supportive people I have ever come across in my career, because we both studied in film school together. We've started our careers together. We've literally started our journeys together. He knows how hard I work. He knows exactly how I was as a student. It was literally like student of the year for the both of us, because we were both always like fighting for the same title. And, it was always like that. We were very competitive in school. And what I liked about him is that when I got out of film school, he offered me Alia's sister's part in Humpty Sharma Ki Dulhaniya. That was the first film that he was directing. I went to Dharma office and I read the script, because he gave me the script and he was like, you have to sit and read it here. So I read it and I went to Shashank and I was just like, Shashank, I know you're offering me the sister's part, but do I have anything to do apart from that in the whole film? Like, I don't see the role. I don't see it doing anything for me. So although I'd love to be a part of your first film and I'd love to be a part of your vision and your cinema, I don't think it does anything for me. And I said no to that part. And it was very difficult at that time because I have no work. I am a nobody. And I'm getting a very big film from a friend of mine who's making a film with such a big production house, such a big producer. But to be able to not give into temptation and say no and still hold your ground, I think it took a lot of courage, I think, from my end. And I think it took a lot of understanding from Shashank's end to understand that I said no for a reason. And I think today he looks at me as a professional. And I think we have a very mutual admiration society, where we both understand, that we both have worked very hard to be where we are. And everybody's kind of built their name literally from scratch. So I don't think we have anybody doing anything for us. We've been doing it for ourselves. But yes, it was very difficult. I think it was just like a gut feeling that I said no to a lot of work. And I think I've landed roles or I've landed places because I said a lot of no. I learned the word no very early on.
You mentioned being humiliated when very early in your career, when they said, you won't make it big and you don't have what it takes. Did that fuel you? I mean, what is the kind of, mindset that you developed once people's sort of put you down and there were so many slides?
Of course, I think it, of course, upsets you. But I also feel like the next morning you have to wake up and just be like, I have to slap makeup on my face and I have to go and meet people. And I don't think this one person is going to break or make my career. And that's one thing I think that I kind of stuck by and I kind of swore by. And of course, you feel bad. It's only human that you feel bad about what you're being told and what you're being, you know, what reality checks people are trying to give you, because those are the same people today who have no careers, and they're trying to struggle their way in OTT. And I see that. And it's unfortunate, but I feel like the industry is too small to put anybody down or to have enemies or to say something horrible or harsh, because you're going to land up working with the same people at some point of time. So be careful who you talk to and what you tell.
Thank you, Aahana. It's been wonderful speaking to you. We are finally much delayed interview.
Very delayed. But I said better late than never. Thank you so much.
Yes, always.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to seeing you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.